Hey guys, what's going on? It's Luke from Marylebone, the Ruffians store. I hope everyone's well, staying safe, and not too many of you have shaved your heads. So what I'm going to do today is just show you a few steps on how to maintain your beard. So yeah, here we go. Right guys, so what I've done first, I've just had a shower, cleaned my beard with a beard scrub, made sure I dried it then, so got any wet underneath the hair, just to keep it moist and avoid any dryness. What I'd recommend first is just to get kind of a comb like that, something similar like that, and just brush it all out. As you can see, I'm brushing it into shape. You know, some days you wake up and it can be quite wild. Just to show you an example, it doesn't look too great at the minute if I do that. So once I brush it all down, brush it into shape, we can really then follow the outline of the previous shape that my girlfriend did for me. It wasn't too bad actually. You can see the shape, it is quite long now, so I want to bring it back quite a bit, but I want to maintain that square shape I've got. So as I can see now, in the mirror, I'm going to brush the sides out slightly. And as I stop, as the jawline comes down, I can see about that much I want to take off. So you can see with the comb, that'll be a guide to how much you want to take off. Again, everyone's going to be different, but I just want to show you the kind of shape we're going to maintain. So holding the clipper with two hands, this finger is just kind of a safety point so I don't cut too much into the beard. I'm just following that shape all the way down. Going to the other side, keeping it nice and structured, just taking those flyaway hairs. Again, you can bring this down just to see how much you want to take off. Again. Just hovering over the hairs that you want to remove, not going too much, not gripping the clipper too hard, nice and light. And that's done. I'm going to go on to the chin area now. I can always go back to the sides if needs be, but they're done for now. I can bring this down. I don't want to take too much off. Start in the middle, lifting the chin slightly. Going back to just above the Adam's apple, just so you've got a nice even balance. And I'm not going too tight here because I'm going to be using the mini trimmers after this to clean up the neck area. Just to double check, I'm going to just brush that out, to make sure it's all even. I haven't missed any spots. I'm not looking for something too sharp, I want to keep it quite natural. So what I'd move on to then is the neck. So again, this is quite a difficult area to do when you're doing it yourself. These corners are quite hard, sometimes you can cut in too much, especially if you've only got the one mirror. So I'm going to play it safe, and I'm just going to start with coming up and almost flicking out, so keeping it quite nice and natural. No sharp lines. Again, it's personal preference.
Sorry.
So again, for the neckline, I want to keep it nice and natural. It's always personal preference. I don't want it too sharp. It's almost like a safety net, because getting these lines spot on yourself is always quite difficult, especially with the corners. So I am going to just keep it natural for now. Around these corners, I don't want to go too far in. I just want to clean it up nice and neat, keeping it quite sharp through here, and then natural through here. Again, coming up through the sides, nice and natural. The longer I leave it, the more that joins in, which is not ideal. I'm not coming too far down. And for me, that's how I kind of like the beard, nice and natural. If I was getting it done in the sharp, I would probably have it slightly higher up and fade it out, but again, doing that yourself it's just not worth the risk. Okay guys, now I've done the neckline, nice and natural. I want to move on to the mustache. Again, with the mustache, it's quite tricky. It depends on the size of the beard. So you want to, with my type of beard, I like to keep the lip line just on the top lip. It's going to be quite hard to remove the weight through here. So I'm almost just going to hover over it. So that's kind of at your own risk. So you don't want to take kind of too much off. And it's all about just kind of having a steady hand. I'm just going to start brushing it all down. Just bring it in. Using two hands on the trimmer. and slightly curving it around the edges. Again, not taking too much off. Nice and natural, not getting too carried away. We'll be going on to these lines. Again, I like them quite high, so I'm just going to kind of remove the hairs on the cheek area. Best way is to use the comb as a guide. Position where you'd like it, how low down. The higher up, the more natural it's going to be. So I'm going to probably go about there, where the mustache starts to curve, going up to the sideburn. I'll always start on the line, using the finger as kind of a safety net, and then I'm going to be pushing up. You don't really want to come down because you might go too low, then lose the kind of shape. Coming up, moving sections, coming down, and then come back up, and then just clean that up. Nice and neat. I like to keep that still slightly stubbly. Some people like to use the foil just to clean that up. So if you've got a foil or a cut-throat blade that you're confident with, just be careful you're angling the blade right. On the side, just coming up rather than down, just to be safe. Just making sure it's all even, it's nice and clean, and you can always even it out at the end if needs be. I'm quite happy with that. What I want to do then is getting a bit out of control. Sideburns, haven't had a haircut in a while, as you can see, so I want to now use the clipper. Some of you might not have the various grades, so you could use the mini trimmers, but you just want to be careful. The beard starts there, and this is your actual hair. You can tell the different colour textures in the hair and the beard. So I don't really want to remove too much. I just want to kind of get rid of these hairs. So again, I could either trim that with scissors, which I wouldn't massively recommend if you haven't used scissors before, or I wouldn't really recommend using your kitchen scissors either. So if you've got a mini trimmer, or if you've got another clipper, you can always use various grades. So I'm going to start with a 2, just to be on the safe side. I know I'm going to probably go shorter than a 2, but just to be safe, just to see how much you're actually taking off to start with. Brushing it all down. Then I'm just going to come up from the bottom of the ear. And so as I'm going into the hairline, I'm flicking out over to the other side, bottom of the ear. Brushing that back, it's the hairs that I don't want to get rid of. Coming up, and I can hear that cutting then. I'm quite happy with that sort of length. Probably go a little bit shorter, so I'm going to do a 175, so 1.5 guard. 75 first, flicking up. I'm just listening to it being cut. Not too much pressure, you're just flicking out slightly onto the other side. 175 over to the 1.5. A lot lighter with this one because it's slightly shorter grade and I don't want to take too much off. So I'm just kind of hovering over it, just getting any little flyaways. You can then come down slightly and remove a little bit more that way. Come down. Enough for the sideburn, so you can see it's just gone slightly shorter there, just faded down, but not too overcomplicated. Right guys, now I've just faded in the beard, I'm just going to go on to just neatening up the hairline. You want to have a steady hand for this, you don't really want to go too far into the hairline, so what I want to do is brush that back and then just kind of neaten it up with a mini trimmer. Just keeping it quite nice and natural, not going too far into the hairline. That's all I'll be doing. Keeping it quite nice and natural throughout. I just want to use, again, 2 hands, just to slightly curve that around the ear, keeping it nice and neat. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Once that's done, I want to just talk a little bit about what I use for my hair and beard. Something nice and natural, our Ruffians beard oil. Just has the natural products inside. You can use any sort of product as long as it's got some natural oils, argan oils, coconut oil, rosemary, lavender. That's the sort of thing I like to use, something that's quite fresh and just helps with dry skin underneath the beard. So you want to use that maybe as you come out of the shower, make sure it just properly gets into the root. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that in, 1 or 2 drops. I don't like to use too much because it ends up slightly greasy, so I'm just going to rub that into the hands and properly get it into the beard. Just getting right into the root. It's got a slight shine, slight freshness to it. Using the brush to just brush that all out. Make sure it's distributed equally throughout the beard. Right guys, now I've done the beard. I'm happy with the shave. Put the beard all in. I'm gonna go onto the hair. So what I've done is slightly wet it down. I'm gonna do this as you come out of the shower. Towel dry it, let it dry naturally. Re-wet it if needs be. I'm using the Ruffians hair cream. It's got vitamin B3 and it keeps it nice and natural throughout the day. I'd recommend putting this in while it's wet. So I'd use, half a pea size into the hands and then into the hair. But I want to get it into the root as well, so you want to kind of mess it up, get it all in the hair. You can use this in the beard, so if you do have some left over, it just softens the beard. You can go back to the comb then to really get it distributed into the hair evenly. So I want to start slicking it back. You can either leave that dry naturally, which is not going to give you as much volume as using a hairdryer, so you can leave that dry naturally and it'll be more of a slick look. Or again, you could use a hairdryer once it's all brushed back. I normally have it on kind of the medium heat and then full power. I normally start with the sides. All I'm doing, I'm not using a comb or anything like that, I'm just using my hands because I've already brushed it all back into place. Around the back. And then going on to the top. Not too overcomplicated. Make sure it's all brushed back. And then what I do is put it on the cold air and lower the speed down. This will then just cool the hair down and maintain the shine. Yeah, not too complicated. And then what I would then do is run through it all, make sure it's all dry, nice and natural, and then just style it the way you like. So that's a couple of tips on how to maintain your beard through this difficult time. You don't want to get too carried away with it, you just want to kind of neaten it up as best as possible. You don't want to kind of do too many sharp lines, you want to kind of keep it quite natural because it is going to last longer than the natural look. If you start doing these sharp lines, it's going to grow out a lot quicker. If you've got any questions, just shoot me a message on Instagram or email over to us and we're more than happy to help, and hopefully see you all guys soon.